What we're going to really concentrate on in this section is the square root property. To do the square root property, so we're not going to do completing the square. And so the square root property simply means if I want to solve an equation with x squared, I'm going to get the x squared by itself first. So I'm going to divide this by 3, both sides. So I'm going to get x squared equals 6. Now to solve a square, I'm going to take the square root. And so when I do a square root, I get a plus and I get a negative square root of 6. And since that doesn't come out evenly, this is my answer. So if I look at my next problem, I want to do the same kind of thing. I got to get the x squared by itself first. So I'm going to plus 7 to both sides. So I get 2x squared equals 7. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So now I got x squared equals 7 over 2. And so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So it's a plus minus square root 7/2. And there's my answer. So all we're doing is using the square root to solve for squares. So we're going to do the same thing here. Isolate our variable, minus 25, both sides. So I get 9x squared equals a negative 25. And divide by 9, x squared equals a negative 25 over 9. And when I take the square root, I get a plus minus. And now here's the difference, is I have a negative. And if we remember from Algebra 2, that becomes an I. And the square root of 25 is 5. And the square root of 9 is 3. So really we have our answer of plus minus 5i over 3. Now when we have a parentheses problem, we have to get rid of the square first. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and that gives me x minus 1 equals the square root of 5, but it's a plus minus. Always a plus minus because there could be two possible answers. And now I add 1. So if I add 1 to both sides, 1 plus minus the square root of 5. And so there's my answer solving.